I know that you pulled up Keyshawn Walcott and a number of other people. You even had, after that, John Raphael.
Rahal.
Okay, so much for my memory. Yes, there is no PH inside of there. Thank you. And so, and in looking at that, I asked myself the question, I asked two questions. What's the demographic you're going after with this book, first of all?
Okay, it is targeting primary school children. That's the target. As I said, I believe that the earlier you reach a child, it's a little bit easier to get them out of it. And again, you spoke about the different, you have several prongs. You have to take it from different levels. And so we can't stop working on this generation. But while one group works on the older generation and the in-between generation, I would like to see, like my group's working on the primary school. So Saturday, every third Saturday in the month, we work with some girls from the Laventel Primary School, where I bring in different mom-entrepreneurs. I bring in smaller businesses. They do go to big businesses as well. But to show them, there is, because we spoke about the mothers that have to leave their children to go and earn income. And that's a real scenario. That's how I got involved. I'm a single mother. And, as much as you're earning a great income, I am leaving my child. And the truth is, the village is not what it used to be. So this whole village raising a child was not an option. I wanted to raise my own child.
It's a wonderful thing. It's just non-existent.
Found a way to earn an income from home with my child being priority. And there are tons of other great businesses out there that are doing that. And so we talk to the girls, because the truth is they're going to become sexually active and probably impregnated by the time some of them 13, 14, 15, and so we need to reach them by 9 and 10 so that they, God forbid they get to that. The cycle can end because they will remember that, oh my gosh, we learned about henna work. We learned about doing the diaries. We learned about doing the soap. And there are different ways that we can go to upmarkets. We could go and earn an income.
So you're teaching them skills at these workshops?
We are.
Okay, that's great.
Absolutely teaching them skills. And, but opening up to them that there's a way to earn an income other than waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and leaving your children behind.
Right.
Because the skill set is one thing, but what happens is, Mailing talks about talent, and talent is just 10%, because we have a lot of talented people that go and make a lot of money from somebody else. They wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to take their talent to someone else. And that cycle is the problem. You're leaving these children to get up and get ready in the morning for themselves. They're raising themselves because, unfortunately, the mom's doing the best they can. They have to go out and earn income. But we're showing them that there are ways to earn an income which actually revolves around your family.
So if I had a child, let's say I had a daughter in primary school, how do I get her into one of these workshops or into this program that you have?
Well, right now we only have 10 people at a time. Again, just like Mr. Graves said, the numbers, it's just myself and one other girl, and we work with it, doing all the admin and whatnot. I've sent out proposals after proposals. I must say in the last, from 2 years to now, the response has been a little bit better. But, corporate TNT needs to understand what social entrepreneurship is, what social marketing is. There's a way to market without using all the billboards and all the everything, because we can market, we can get your name out there while actually benefiting the society. And to see, sometimes it breaks my heart when I see the millions of dollars being spent on that kind of mass marketing, when we could take that money and pay social workers
and do targeted marketing.
Yes, absolutely. So I have to say that right now it's not possible, because we hand select the 10 girls from schools that I would have gone to. I work with them. I have a relationship with them, and I pick the 10 girls that I think they've reached out. I have girls that sometimes would call and say, "Auntie, can you adopt me?" And people, when I have some friends that go, "Marsha, she has a problem." I say, she does not have a problem. I've gone to her home. She's not being abused. She's fed every day. She goes to school every day. But what she does not hear is, "I love you." What she does not hear is she doesn't get a hug. So when she comes by me on a Saturday and I hug her and I tell her how proud I am of her and I just celebrate her, That is like new.
Are these facets that you take from the people you have chosen to put in the book that would indirectly be doing the same thing you're doing in your sessions? Is that the intent?
I do. So I have, like, basically when I started off the book, I said all the time that you can't expect Keyshawn to go out there and constantly tell his story because he's busy. He has to go and train. But if you can capture and if you do enough interviews, Dale Carnegie, there's a book. Gosh, I can't remember the name of the book right now.
You can if you think you can? Or which one?
No, he, oh my gosh, Think and Grow Rich, is that it, boy?
Okay.
It's a book where he interviewed like thousands and thousands of businessmen because if you interview them, it's a sort of a research in a way, and that's my thing. I have dug into a lot of these successful people, and they would tell you that nobody asked them the kind of questions that I asked because I want to know what was happening to you at 5 years old, 6 years old, and 7 years old. Because those are the crucial years, psychologists will tell you, 3 to 7 is your crucial years. So something was happening with you then that was making that difference. Why is it Keyshawn Walcott, who was selling crab 2 days a week, just to go to school the other 3 days a week in Toku? Why was he able to get out of it? I mean, John Rahal came from parents who left Syria as war refugees. He did not grow up with anything, What made him get out of it? There's something. And so for me, I've really pulled from a lot of people because, of course, that was what helped me as well. A lot of people say, how did you get out? I say, because I sit and I'm a sponge and I listen and I pay attention. And there's something, there are things, there are value systems that, and if you pass that on, then
and the reason for
1
my
in 10.
I'm sorry. The reason for my inquiry in that area is because the same way you went about doing it here in the book is what I wonder if you would use that approach to deal with some so-called taboo subjects by giving somebody having a contemporary featured here with AIDS, for instance, a contemporary
Absolutely.
with some kind of STD, a contemporary who's in a gang, something
Absolutely.
because this is an indirect way of getting the message across.
Absolutely. In fact, there is a guy called Samuel Stafford. I interviewed him, and he did not make it into the book, but again, I use, between the social media, I have plans of doing little YouTube videos, because, of course, different children, they have different stimuli. And Samuel Stafford left his home. He was kicked out at 14 years old because he stood up to his dad. His dad was beating his mother. And he grew up watching his dad beating his mother. And one day he felt like he was just strong enough. And so I'm going to protect my mother. And he was kicked out of the house by his mother. His mother said there could only be, one man rat in the hole. And that's going to cause trouble. So you know what? It's best if you leave. And he was homeless at 14.
Right.
He literally came down. He made his way hitchhiking down to St. James and helped and cleaning and whatnot. But gangs reached out to him because he was known as a fighter.
Yes.
He was strong and he was good, and gangs reached out to him. But he said his mother's words always stuck with him. You are better than a gang. You are better than a gang. You are better than a gang. He became the first ever non-Japanese to win a world karate championship. Came from Trinidad and Tobago, these are things that we don't know. The only non-Japanese to win a karate championship came from Trinidad and Tobago. And so, of course, karate took him. He's now a businessman. He's a millionaire, and for me, one of his stories, I had sent that story to Ministry of National Security and said, we need to use some of these stories because speak to the boys to say, this is who your hero needs to be. Because look at him. He's driving a Hummer. He's driving a Harley Davidson. He's cool. By all intents and purposes, he's cool.
And he came from constrained circumstances.
But he said no to the gangs. And this is what the result can be by actually saying no to the gangs. And this is where we need to... Again, I wrote down heroes, because Mr. Graves talked about the heroes. These gang leaders are becoming heroes. We need to create better heroes. We need to sort of market our people.
I heard you just said something about using other forms of media, especially dealing up with children that would have different cognitive skills and different ways of learning. What are some of the ideas you're looking to explore?
Well, as I said, in terms of taking some of these stories and creating YouTube videos out of them, of course, then you have the seminars, you have the one-on-one mentoring. So we have the Piece of Me Christmas Camp. Because, of course, now the book is one thing, so you can read. You have the YouTube videos, so that's, that audio and that visual. You have the one-on-one, because there are those that, you know, you speak to in a group and they're not going to hear you. So you do need to pull them out. You know, if it's one thing, I give my cell phone number freely to anyone, because there are children. I mean, I spoke in Barrackpore to 400 students. Some, you know, cool, they're willing to stand up and speak in front of them. But from the time the room emptied out, 3 girls came, because those girls will get lost by themselves. And so, you know what? Here's my cell phone number. We can talk on one-on-one basis, because we also need that. You know, and it's tiring. And at some point, somebody needs to sort of pay for this. That's where the corporate finance wave comes in. Because my mother always goes, "How are you eating?" And I said, "Don't worry, God's sending food." You know, but you know, because there's a lot of that one-on-one that's needed. There are a lot of children that will not stand out, in even among their peers, they will not stand out and say, "This is what I am going through at home."
I love
they
what
will
you're doing.
come to you quietly and say, "Do you know that I have an uncle that's a drug addict?" And I go, "Girl, don't study it." You know, they would hear something and they would say, "Auntie, so. That's another thing. I use auntie all the time. When they refer to me as Miss Riley, I say, "No, I'm auntie." You know, because we need to start to nurture our children. I believe that, you know, giving a lot of rules is one thing. But there's something that I get, it's a real pet peeve of mine. You want to be a parent when it's time to discipline, but you don't want to be a parent when it's time to nurture.
To show compassion.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because for every slap you give me, you better be bringing some good food and some good, you know, because you're leaving me hungry whole day. You're not doing the nurturing side, but you're quick to give me licks, and you're quick to buff me, and quick to demand all these things, and quick to say, "Well, show me respect because I'm a parent."
Yeah.
Well, you show me love because you are a parent.
Yeah.
You know, you show me an example because you are a parent.
I really love that energy. I love that energy that you put out there this morning. Just remind folks how they can get in touch. Your fan page on Facebook.
Yes, and my telephone number is 684-1200.
Oh, you give that out, okay?
Yes, I give that out. That's fine.
684-1200.
Yes.
Okay, and those who are desirous of just purchasing the book can.
And you can email me at marshariley@gmail.com.
Momtrepreneur, she knows exactly where to put the plugs. Okay, so go ahead, repeat the email address.
Marsha Riley, MARSHARILEY @gmail.com. The books are available at all Nigel Arcan stores nationwide, Charles and St. James, Morton's Bookstore on Long Circular Road, Academics Plus in Curep. I'm really trying to get it into a duty-free store. Like, Carnival is passing me by. Just now I'm going to do like Morgan.
Try to
go outside
see if
in
you
the
can get
airport.
something about the airport. Yeah, here, you know, that because it's very colorful. It is well done. And the content, as we said, clearly the reason we ask you here is because there's
Thank you
total
so much.
agreement on the content of this.
Absolutely. And I mean, I have to congratulate Rhoda. You know, I mean, I love everything that I heard. Thank absolutely.
you,
I took your name. I went onto Facebook while I was waiting. I haven't found you yet, but I found Mr. Graves. You know, because there must be synergy. You know, he spoke about, you know, there are only 10. I know of another Christian group, Ignite, that did a health outreach in Laventille for Christmas. And there are a lot of things going on, you know. But we just maybe need to put our synergies together. Because, of course, there's power in numbers. And see how, you know, we can take back our country. Because as you guys said, it's no longer just Laventille. It's Trinidad as a whole.
Indeed.
And we do need to take our country back. It's too precious to just let go by the wayside.
John Rahil, Kishon Walcott, Rhea Ramnarine, Mailing. You get a chance to look at all of them. The book is If I Can, You Can. It is written by Marsha L. Riley. She's been our guest. The illustration from Gerard Gomez is actually quite nice too.
Yes, he's done a great job. He's really done a great job.
I thank you so much for taking the time to come in this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank all my guests for coming in. Ms. Ashton Ford, who's the General Secretary of the PNM, Howard Graves, who we spoke about. He's a community activist with the Ministry of National Security as a consultant. Of course, who I beg to stay with me right through until the end, a teacher, lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Rhoda Barrett. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You didn't have to beg that much. I think I was quite generous, yeah?
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
for having me,
yes.
Rennie. Thanks for having me.
She eased down on my begging. Brian, Brian Surratt, who is the Vice President of Pan Trinbago. Thank you so much. And Ricky Davidson. Love what he's doing equally. Want to thank you guys, all of you, for being with us this morning. It will be nothing without you, and that's why we enjoy having breakfast. You can join me, however, Monday through Friday from 6 until 9 o'clock right here on what I like to call your frequently frequented frequency, which is 107.7. And we have the morning show with Michelle Borrell. Have yourself a very wonderful day. It's the start of your week.